Well. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to May 7th edition of Speaking of Zane. Wow, it's the 230th edition of Speaking of Zane, where we speak his name to keep his memory alive. That's the whole thing about speaking of Zane, saying his name to keep his memory alive. You know, they say a person dies twice, once when they take their last breath, and again when their name is no longer spoken, and couldn't bear the thought of that, couldn't bear the thought of him taking his last breath either. But gosh, I remember so vividly the night that, or the afternoon that we found him, and I was trying to, don't know how long he'd been gone, but I was trying to revive him. And as I was doing the chest compressions, I could feel his breath. It just, it'll that'll never go away. Okay, well, good to have everybody in here for sure. Let me do a little roll call here. Let me take that banner down so you can see things here. There we go. How about that? Okay, let's see who we got in here tonight. Daryl's in here. Hey, Daryl. Let's see. We got a Facebook user, my Aunt Mary. Hey, Aunt Mary. Got Ted Boris in here. Hey, Ted Dro. Got another Facebook user, Jimbo Miller's in here. Hey, Jim. Carl Q. All right, Carl and Peggy. All right. Good to have you all in there. Looks like we've got a good crowd assembled, and a lot of people that watch the recording. So if you're watching the recording, not live, hello. There's Terry Bass. Hey, Terry. Got you on our cemetery visit list to chat about here shortly. Oh, hey, Ken. Good to have you in there. All right. Well, let's see what we got going here. Oh, man. Some of you, I see Lori's in here too. I know Lori's in here. I was just texting with her. But I was talking about her, Steve Shirley. Hey, Steve-O. I was talking about our air conditioning situation. Fortunately, it's not real hot yet. But I had the upstairs HVAC unit, the outdoor unit, wouldn't kick on. The compressor wouldn't kick on. And fortunately, it hasn't been overbearing yet. Downstairs unit's working fine. Upstairs unit hasn't been working. And both the units are original to the house. So they're 20 years old. They're trains. So they're good quality units. So you heard me talk last week. I think I replaced the capacitor, which is a typical item that fails on those outdoor units. And so I replaced the capacitor. They're 10 or 12 bucks. The old one was definitely bad because it had a hole in it. So I know the capacitor was bad, and capacitors are known to go out with a hole in them. And I thought, well, shoot, that didn't, and I replaced it, and that didn't fix the problem. And I thought, what would be next? And the only other sort of line replaceable unit, besides the fan assembly or the actual compressor, is the contactor, which is basically a relay. And the system, the thermostat, sends a signal to this relay, a low voltage signal to the relay, and tells it, okay, change states, and then the capacitor discharges a high voltage to get that compressor kick started. Well, I could hear the click, so I know that that things were happening, but it wasn't kicking on the compressor. So anyway, I replaced the contactor, and had to do a little bit of had to put some different ends on the wiring. I had to strip and do some things. I did made sure I knew exactly where everything was going to go. Anyway, I got it all done, and this was yesterday after I did the yard work. Got it all done, turned it on, nothing, same thing. So I got to thinking, sometimes when those things start acting up, they trip the circuit breaker inside. Now, an outside unit has a fuse, a hardwired fuse you pull out. If you guys know that have worked on your units there, but I pull that out obviously to do work on it. But there's also a circuit breaker on the main circuit breaker panel in the house. So um, I had so I got it all put together, and I was like, wah, wah. But then I thought a minute. I said, oh, wait a minute. What if that circuit breaker on the inside has tripped, you know, and I just need to recycle it? Did that, boom, everything's working like a champ. Everything's working like a champ. So I saved myself, I don't know how much I saved myself. Capacitor was $10, contactor was $12. I bought some new connectors. They were $10. The service fee for my home warranty is, well, it wasn't just the circuit breaker. Lori's saying, I asked you if you checked the circuit breaker. Well, yeah, I checked the circuit breaker. That's the very first thing I did. But yes, when it first broke, yes, I checked the circuit breaker. There wasn't the circuit breaker, it was a capacitor. Capacitor had a big hole in the side of it. So, and the contactor was bad. So, regardless of the circuit breaker, both of those components were bad and had to be replaced. When I got them all replaced, I forgot to recycle the circuit breaker. That's anyway. So, a service call on my home warranty is $65. So, I think all my parts all in were less than $30. So maybe HVAC technician is in my future. I don't know, but anyway, it's working like a champ now, both upstairs and downstairs. Okay, well, that's enough about that story. Well, let's see what else we got. Oh, I was out of town this week. I went to let's see. Last Sunday, I had just got back from St. Louis. Well, I woke up and went to Dallas on the next day, Monday, and had a meeting with I have one of the guys in my class is being adopted. You know, these guys are, I teach a year-long course on how to be an engineer. And then at the end of the year, they go to a team, some team across the country. Well, there's a guy on my team who lives in New Jersey, and the Verizon account team, or Verizon's a big client of ours. The engineering team that supports Verizon are taking him. So anyway, they had an all hands meeting in Dallas at the office there, and so they asked my student, you know, if he could come and meet everybody, and I said, well, yeah, as long as I can come along. And anyway, so we had a good time. It was really good work, you know, as good as work can get. But I met a couple of engineers on the team are also veterans. So I've got met some veterans there. Let's see, John is a Coast Guard vet. He leads that team. And then Dan was a Navy vet. And as it turns out, this guy, Dan, flew on P3s. So Steve and Amy and Jimbo and Dan, everybody will remember the P3 guys were our neighbors in the alert facility downstairs, right? Well, this guy was one of them during the 80s. So it's likely we occupied the alert facility there at the same time. Anyway, the guy's name's Dan. He was a sensor operator. So he's the one that dropped the sonobuoys out of the bottom of the plane and then monitored them. But yeah, it was fun to meet him. Dan is his name. But so we had a really good time, and we got to do a little bit of range therapy. We got to do some sporting clays, shoot some 12 gauges, and then we got to shoot some pistols, 40 caliber Glocks, and then we got to shoot some 22s. We did a little plinking on a gallery with 22s. And this guy, my student, Mark from New Jersey, had never picked up a gun ever, let alone shot a gun. And but he did pretty good. He got some clay, shot some clays. He did really good on the pistol. And then had a lot of fun on the gallery with the plinker. And it was a lot of fun. I was staying really close to him when we're doing the sporting clays because he had his booger picker on the bang bang switch, and I'm like, okay, get your finger out of there until you're ready to shoot. And he kept bringing the barrel of the rifle, the barrel of the shotgun, and no, keep the shotgun downrange. So anyway, by the time we were done, we did six different stations. He was doing pretty good, but anyway, that was the Dallas trip. That was a lot of fun. Okay, well, happy birthday is in order to my father-in-law, Stan. Stan Smith is retired Air Force, and they live in Oklahoma now. Stan met, you guys have heard the story, I think. Stan met Lori's mother at Lackland Air Force Base when Lori was in basic training. Follow me? Lori was in basic training. Stan was one of her TIs. Lori's mother, Carol, came to Family Day and all that, met Stan, and they've been married for freaking 30 something years now. It's crazy, but a great guy, and happy birthday, Stan. I don't know how old he is, Lori, 65 maybe. He's a little bit older than Lori and I, but just a heck of a guy. So happy birthday, Stano. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Weight loss, weight loss. So I'm down another pound. 78 pounds, 78 pounds, creeping up on 80. Creeping up on 80 pounds. So I'm in the middle of a challenge. We've got like 48 days remaining in this challenge, and I've got some folks at work I'm competing with. Actually, we're on the same team, that we're sort of competing with each other, but we're encouraging each other. But I've lost so much, it's hard to lose these last little bits, I'll tell you. But I'm bound to determine if I can lose another. If I can, let's see, what did I say? I'm at 78. So I've got to lose another, for me to win or get to the goal. Let's see, 80. I've got to lose another 5 pounds, to hit the goal. Okay, let's see. Oh, hey, remember last week I talked about that flag retirement ceremony that we did at work, which was absolutely amazing. We're going to do another one at one of our other facilities here sometime this month. Well, I finally got the video of it. So go to Speaking of Zane Facebook group, and you can see the video of this guy barking out the orders. Now, we didn't probably do this like an honor guard would have done it, but I think we did it the best we could and best we could all remember from our time in the military. But it's pretty fun. It's a 7-minute video. I think you'll enjoy it there. So go check that out. We got some other activities coming up at work. Since Memorial Day is Military Appreciation Month, and it's also, of course, or May is Military Appreciation Month, and then, of course, it culminates with Memorial Day. I've got all of the stuff on order that I need for to do this Memorial Day recognition that we're doing at work. We've never done any of this before. We're a 10,000 person company, 32 years old. We've never done anything like this. But we're going to be placing flags like this 8x12 flag, like you see at the cemeteries. We're going to be placing about 150 of them in a little field by our headquarters, and then another 100 and some where we did that flag ceremony. And then we've got a couple of battlefield crosses we're going to put in each location, and a sign explaining, to the layperson, explaining what's the meaning of what we're doing here. And then we're doing a missing man table in the lobby of each of these two buildings. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then we're going to culminate the month with I mentioned this last week. Well, we're getting closer. I've got a roundtable, a webinar scheduled. So I'm going to share that link with everybody if you'd like to sit in. It's going to be on, I think it's May 25th. It's the Thursday before Memorial Day, and I'll be facilitating a discussion with a colleague at work who lost his sergeant major in Afghanistan, with a colleague at work that lost his uncle on D-Day, with Kelly Kowal, our friend from My Warriors Place, who of course lost her son Corey, and then with Greg Page, who is the father of Corporal Dagan Page, who is buried at Omaha National Cemetery. Dagan was killed with 12 others in that disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. His dad has agreed to come and share his story. So I'm super excited about that toward the end of the month. There's my Aunt Paula Pittman. Hey, Aunt Paula. Okay, let's see. We also had another anniversary this week on May the 1st. On May the 1st, it was the 5-year anniversary of the passing of Daryl's wife, Wanda. And those of you that have lost someone, that these dates, they, I don't know, we're as human beings, we sort of think in numbers. We're chronological. We think in timelines and all this stuff, and anniversaries. And anyway, I know that 5 years is a benchmark, amount of time. So Daryl, our thoughts are with you there on Wanda's passing 5 years ago, May 1st. Okay, there's my dad. Hey, Dad, Mac Marine. Lori is on me about coming down there and spending some time, and we are going to, I think, next weekend. But my dad and my sister have just been absolutely phenomenal looking after my mother, who is in serious decline health-wise. But man, I have so much admiration for my dad and my sister. They have just been fantastic. We're going to come down here soon. Of course, all my dad or sister have to say is we need y'all's help, and we'd be down there. But good to have you in there, Dad. Okay, let's see. What else do we got here? Oh, today I didn't pull any this week in military history news items. I've been slacking in that regard, but I did spend quite a bit of time on Zane's Facebook page. It's kind of cool that you can keep someone's Facebook page, and I'll just go back and look at it and read it. And he was such a funny guy. It's just I go back and read his Facebook stuff because you can read it by month, by year, and all that stuff. So, but it is just so funny. When I'm reading his posts, how we are humans. I hear his voice. I can hear him saying the things he says, right? The inflection and everything. It's just fascinating that we can go back and have those things to look at. But well, hat of the week always has something to do with what the heck is going on around here at the fabulous McDonald Estate and Insane Asylum, or something going on in our lives. And I was down to a minute and had not picked a hat of the week. I could have picked several different hats, but I picked this hat right here. Whoops, let's go wrong camera again. I changed cameras on you guys. I don't know if you noticed, but this is Selwood Farm. It's over in Alpine, Alabama, kind of near Talladega. But it's like a shooting gallery, shooting range. There you go, Ken. You see, there's a reason why Ken's a retired Air Force officer. He's so daggone smart. Look at him. He made the connection before I could even get through the story. But this place, Selwood Farm, is where I've gone several times for sporting clay shoots. And that's what we did in Dallas this week. We did six different stations, sporting clays. But so that is the connection for this week's hat of the week. That Ken is sharp, man. I tell you what. Okay, well, let's see what else we got here. Veteran Cemetery Challenge. We had some visits this week. Daryl, of course, visited Wanda on the anniversary of her passing, but he went back twice this week. So he may be setting a record on number of visits to the same place in 1 week, but three times, and I can't hardly blame him. Tell you what, if you've never been to Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery near St. Louis, Missouri, and if you're ever close enough to go there, it is just a phenomenal place. I mean, It's just fantastic. You got to visit. Let's see what else we got here. Jim Miller's in here tonight. Jim went to St. John's and where his wife Deborah rests. If you remember, Jim's wife Deborah passed away, I think a week after Zane passed away. Um, Jim, or a week or 2 weeks, something like that. It was okay. Steve got another one in there. So Jim went to St. John's for his wife. He also went to Omaha National for Todd, Corporal Page, and for Roy Walton, who now has a headstone. Thank you for sending a pic there, Jim. It was outstanding to see that. And let's see. So Jimbo had those, and then Terry Bass. So Terry Bass is in here tonight. Terry lives in the Kansas City area, but Terry was up in Omaha for some reason, I guess on purpose. And he stopped by and saw our friend Todd Vanderwerk in there at Omaha National, and then also went by Bellevue Cemetery and paid his respects to our colleague Ann Belau. Ann passed away, gosh, about 20 years ago now of cancer, but we all flew with Ann. Senior Master Sergeant, retired. She was a pro for sure. So Terry, thanks for posting that. And then Steve, let's see. Steve says he took his grandson to Omaha National today. Okay, Steve, how about that? So I'll add another one there. Yeah, I was talking about last week, we were talking about the call that Lori got from Zane's son, Colton, and I'm really excited to take him to Georgia National to see his dad. Okay, let's see. I'm reading some posts here. Yeah, he was crazy. Yeah, Lori's remembering there. He was a very impromptu, very he could make you laugh, like that. He was absolutely a comic. Okay, so I got Daryl's 3. I got Jimbo's 2 visits. I got Steve's in there. I've got Terry's 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 visits this week. So we have breached the 800 mark for cemetery visits, 803 to be exact. And that's to over 173 different locations across the country, across the world, in fact. So thank you guys for playing along with that. I tell you, I don't, what am I trying to say? Veteran cemeteries I look at them today like I never did before. I had to go visit a son there. It's just something. Okay, that's the Veteran Cemetery Challenge, which takes us on to the Thank a Vet Challenge. We had some thank yous this week. I mentioned mine. I thanked my 2 colleagues. John was a coastie. Dan was a sailor. And then I thanked a Navy vet at the airport. I forget if it was DFW or Atlanta. And then I thanked a soldier at the airport in Atlanta, active duty soldier. So I had 4 thank yous this week. Daryl had 2. Daryl had a Navy vet, John, and an Army vet, Beverly, that he met at Waffle House. How about that? And we're getting some late breaking news here. We had 4 thank yous, all at the Space Center on Wednesday. 3 Army, 1 Air Force. Awesome, Ken. Thank you, sir. Yeah, how was that trip? Lori and I went there with the kids once and just had a fantastic time. I've been there several times, of course, but we had probably the most special visit. We took the kids there on a vacation one year. I don't remember how old the kids were, Lori, but it was fantastic. All right, Ken, I'm going to write yours in here. So Ken had 4 visits. So if we, or 4 thank yous, add that, carry the 3, 97, no, 90, 98. All right, 298 thank yous. 200, good grief. 2,098 thank yous since we started tracking. So thank you guys for playing along. People are surprised when I tell them that, but that is the truth. Yeah, Lori says twice with the kids. I guess she's right about that. Yeah, I'm thinking of the one time we went down to Wild Adventures in Valdosta, Georgia, I believe. Then we went down somewhere in Central Florida, Cypress Springs, Cypress Gardens, something like that. And then we went back toward the coast, stayed over there, to Space Coast area, and did that. That was fun. Good stuff, Ken. Glad you had a good trip there. Okay, well, let's see what else we got here. Organizations. Let's see. The only thing we got the running to honor run coming up in July, so we're getting closer there. I mentioned I've got Kelly coming to speak. I'm waiting for them to set my webinar up so that I can share the information with you guys. I would love for you guys to tune in or at least watch the recording because Kelly's going to be there. It's going to be fantastic. And then Carry the Load. We'll keep talking about this all through May because Carry the Load are making their way through 5 different routes through the country. Omaha's on the list there. Michigan's on. They'll be down here in Atlanta. And then all of those routes culminate down into Dallas where they have a big Memorial Day recognition celebration. So keep your eyes on Carry the Load. All right, Ken is verifying Cypress Garden. Yeah, Cypress Garden, Winter Haven. Yeah. Yeah, Lori, didn't we see a concert there? Oh gosh, yeah, one of my favorite country bands from the 90s. Gosh, who was that, Lori? They sang Diamond Rio. They sing the song Beautiful Mess, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I think that's right, Lori. It was an outdoor amphitheater there. Am I confused? In my head, it sounds accurate. I don't know. Was that a different trip? I know it. Anyway, she'll straighten me out. I get these trips. Now I'm a 60-year-old man, so there's been a lot of these trips, a lot of different trips, and maybe I'm getting my trips confused. I don't know. Speaking of trips, our daughter Charlotte was just down in Texas. We were both in Texas at the same time. Of course, she was down in College Station visiting friends from college, and I was in Dallas, but we didn't get to see each other. But she flew home today. She flew out of Houston to Minneapolis to Seattle, but she did get to watch the Braves game on the plane, though. But so she's on her way back home. That reminded me, she's about to move to a new employer, and I'm told that her travel benefits are going to be jacked up through the roof because of who this employer is. But I'll wait until she gives me the A-OK to tell everybody. Okay, let's see. I think that's all I've got. Terry Bass, thanks for checking in today. Good to have you in there. Thanks for posting and visiting Todd and Ann. And I don't know what's coming up this week. Of course, Mother's Day is next Monday, good grief. Next Sunday, right, Lori? Mother's Day is next weekend, I believe. So plan to get down there and see my mama. But we'll be right back here next Sunday night, maybe, for Speaking of Zane. Sometimes on a holiday, we move it to Monday. So you guys will have to wait and see. But keep your eyes on the Facebook group, and that way you'll know. But all right, gang, I sure have enjoyed it, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody next week for what'll be the 231st edition of Speaking of Zane. How about that? See you later, everybody.